Hey dudes, dudettes, whatever you are, I'm Scott. Going to teach you guys who are just starting out or just noodling around with one finger things, just figuring out things like Smoke on the Water and stuff that everybody tends to learn how to play with one finger or one note at a time. If you hear anything squeaking, yeah, that's my stool I'm on. So if you hear anything go, yeah, that's my stool, so to speak. Anyway, here's my guitar I've had since I was like younger. Anything would be younger than what I am now. Anyway, so all of you who've been doing the one finger method like this, and you want it to sound just a little bigger, more powerful, and nobody will buy you an electric guitar yet and an amplifier that goes to 11 and so forth. Well, we got to deal with what we got to deal with. We got to prove that, hey, we can play before we can spend all the money. Okay, so let's get to playing just a little bit better sounding first. Okay, you can still keep, and I want you to keep, everything that you have figured out on your own, and we'll figure out some more stuff as we go here. But those same notes, I'm just going to teach you to add one more string to them. So you're still going to be playing just with one finger, but you're going to be playing with two strings. You're actually going to be playing, instead of just, you're actually going to be playing this string and this string. So you can just lay it flat and then just pick. And it sounds a lot bigger, even on this little thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that we're going to be able to go all that stuff before we're done here. Okay, so hang with me and we'll get readjusted. Okay, so what we're going to do here is simply, again, like I told you, we're going to take, let's go ahead and put any finger. I'm going to go with my third finger. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so starting with your pointer finger, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and use my third finger or my ring finger because it makes it easy to do what we're getting ready to do. And that's going to be using one finger per fret. You know, of course, the frets are these metal bars here. We want to play in between them, close to the fret, but not on top of it. If we're too far back, we do that. Okay, so we're trying to hit the third fret, but not on top. If you're on top of it, you get that same noise. Go back a little bit and play it with your pick. You're fine, it sounds great. And I'm sure a lot of you know that, but for those who don't, there you go. Okay, so I want you to use 3 fingers as far as 1 per fret. So if you could play the notes here on your A string, which is not the low one, but the next one down, I want you to play fret number 1 with your first finger, fret number 2 with your second finger, fret number 3. Okay? Okay, that'll be cool to get you started. And then we're going to add a whole bunch more here in just a second. I'm going to show you all the way through the things that we can play. And then we're just going to add the other note that I showed you that makes everything sound huge. Okay, so really work on this first. Okay, take it as slow as you need to or as fast as you need to. You know how videos work. So just 1, 2, 3. And again, we're not up here on the low string. We're down 1 whole string. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And just keep going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3. And again, whatever you need to do it at. If you need to shut this down and keep working on it, and go forward and backward. really needs to be done at some point because we're going to play a lot of stuff that requires us to go backward. Okay, so let's just work on that. Okay, and then the next set that we're going to learn, yeah, we're going to learn more than one. Okay, is straight down one string. Okay, so now we're going to go to what's the D string, not your low one, not the one we were just on, the A, but this one, the D string. So that's the 1, 2, third one down this way. And we're going to do the same thing, just 1, 2, 3, and backward. Now, if you want to, you can remember like the old song Batman. If you can find it, go on YouTube, you can find the really old Batman song. It's like, it goes like that. Or back up here. Now, okay, but easy and more fun to play if you actually have some sort of a song to play. And it gets this hand going too good with your pick. And make sure you have a pick, okay? And in a little bit, actually the strumming that we'll be doing will be up instead of down so much. But right now, do it any way you want it. You can even work on so you're actually doing this. Okay, if you hold your arm on the guitar, it makes it a lot easier, and just use your wrist only, not a bunch of this. But hold on to it so that when you let go of it, it still stays on you. You don't even need a strap, okay, at this particular level. Okay, and like I said, we'll go to the next notes down. You can go up and down like this with your picking hand if you want. Now it's getting ready to get more fun here after 2 more of these, showing them to you. Okay, you were going fret number 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to move it up on the same string. So we're just taking this whole thing, and where this third finger is, your ring finger, that's where we're going to put the first finger. So we're going to move it up. So we're going to play frets number 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Anything you want to do with those notes. And the very last one is just simply like we did the first time when we just dropped down. Okay, now we went up here. We're just going to drop down to the next string. Okay, so now we're actually on what's the G string. And if you're going upward, it's the third one up or the fourth one down. Okay, but for now, it's the G string, and we're going to be, because we were up here, okay, we were up here on the D string. I know, that's quick, but we don't want to be here all day. You guys can shut it down anytime you want and get working again. Again, just bring it down one string, and now. Okay, now if we take every single thing we did and play them one note at a time, we started down here on this A string, not the low one. We're just leaving the low one out right now because we have a very special use for that low one. And there's a reason why we're staying here on this second string up here, this A string. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3 on there. Now down one string. Now we're going to skip up to 3, 4, 5. Fret 3, fret 4, fret 5. And drop it down one string. So all together we have all the way around and backward. Okay? Okay, you can go any old place you want on this thing. Okay, and just work on those for now. Okay, I'm going to show you a way to get other ways and other places here in a second. But first of all, we're going to do that little smoke on the water thing. And then I'm going to show you how to do a lot of cool things. Okay, that Smoke on the Water song, you can look it up. It's by a band called Deep Purple. Yeah, I know. Anything that's deep like the water usually isn't purple, but in my old days, it used to be for some reason. Yes, water used to be purple, so was the rain. Okay, anyway, it's right here on this string, and it's just there on the 3rd fret. Again, we have a finger designated to each fret, so 3rd fret. See, so we have fingers on the 3rd and 1st, so that one here on the 3rd fret, down one string at the 1st, and 3rd fret again using your 3rd finger. Okay, so we have okay, then we do it again, but instead of here, we actually hit one note up here. We can do it with your pinky, or we can do it with your 3rd finger here. I like to kind of try to go up there if I can, but if you want to use your pinky, that's fine. You can keep in the same way of having a different finger for each fret. Okay, so again, now the next one, we're going to the 4th fret, and then back to 3. Okay, so it's almost like the first one. Then, almost just like it, but we're going to have that 1 at the 4 before we go back to the 3. Now we do the first one again. Now backwards we go. And then the first note. Okay, so the whole thing's going to sound like this, then we'll work on it together. Okay, and the way that you hear me playing it, instead of all just jumbled together, that's what's called phrasing. It's just what it's called. It's kind of like talking. You don't want to talk like this or you'll sound like a robot. So if you add phrasing and then you talk again, and then you talk again, that's phrasing. That's the way you stick things together so you don't end up talking like this all the time and you just never stop and then you just sound like me. You don't want to do that. Okay, so it actually sounds like this again. Okay, so that's how it's going to go. I'm going to play it one time real slow, and once you get that, then I'm going to show you how to make that thing sound cooler. Because if you already know this, you're like, well, I already know that. And okay, that's fine. A lot of you do know that. And we're going to make it better. Okay, so one last time. I'm hitting every string on here. Hey, there goes my squeaker. Let's do it again so I can play it right, okay? Okay, now if you want to, you can also just continue to do this until you get your fingers all stretched out. You can continue to do this with one single finger, just like this. That is not a problem, because you will get better and you'll get to learning how to use all of your fingers. So it's not a problem as long as you keep the same notes that I'm showing you. If you want to play with one finger, that's fine with me, because again, we're going to be playing with one finger throughout all of this. Okay, it's just a matter of which finger you choose to use. Okay, now what we're going to do to make it all sound better now is we're going to take one finger, whatever you decide. If we're going to play all of these with different fingers, I'll show you that way. If we're going to use one finger, I'll show you that way too. And then I'll show you how to do different things other than just this song. And the rest will be up to you, okay? I'm not going to just spend the time just showing you only this thing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play the note we've always played. So this one right here. But like I said, there's a reason we left this top string not being played. Okay, we're going to add that string, and every other note we play, we're going to add the string that's above it to it. So if we are playing that note, we're going to take our finger and put it flat like that. Okay, and it's going to cover the one string you were on like this. But now you're going to cover, you can cover the whole neck if you want to, just right along that fret, and kind of play upward. So you hit the first note that we learned, but now when you cover it, so it sounds big like that. Because when I get ready to play, I'm going to play that way. That's because when I go, then I go to this one, I'm hitting the note that we normally played, plus the one above it. So, and then here, but see, I'm strumming upward, so you hit the note we learned first. So it's like, okay, you see what I'm getting at here? So when we get to playing all the stuff that I showed you, where it is, okay, remember that? Okay, that's all going to take place doing this. Okay? And what are we going to be able to do with that? Anything like that that's, you know, way out there. We can play anything. You know, whatever comes to your mind with the one finger stuff, you add the other note that is above it. That's the whole lesson, is to learn the one finger part, make it sound like something, make any song that you've already learned, but do it with one finger, but flatten that finger out and play the string above it. That's the entire lesson, is to know how to do that. Okay? So if you're just up here going, you could do this and, okay? Even with the, like this, if you're going to play one note here, three times. one finger. See, I'm just using that one finger there every single time. I'm not using different fingers. I know there's all kinds of different people who are at different levels. So, if you're here at fret number 3 on that string, on the A string, and you play it 3 times, go down 1 string, same fret, 3rd fret, play it twice. Move it up to the 5 or the 5th fret 3 times. Move it back to the 3rd, do it twice. Every time we go to that string, we're going to play it twice on that string in that 3rd fret. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay? And then the whole secret thing about what we're learning is we're still going to play that note and that note and that note, but we're going to flatten our finger and also include the string above it. It's always going to be on the same fret. We just have to learn to flatten our finger across like that. So now you have okay, that's about every old song you've ever heard, if you've ever heard an old song before. Again, this proves how old I am. If you want to know, I'm actually Santa Claus' 300th second cousin on his mom's 3rd time that she got married, divided by 6. That's why I got the gray beard. It came in when I was like 6. Anyway, so again, that's the whole idea, is to play the notes that are above it. That's the whole lesson. Okay, so if we're starting up here and coming down, okay, let's do that much with what we started with at near the beginning, but coming backwards because we went. Okay, remember, or the people who are playing with all their fingers, drop it down. We can even go, then drop it down, because we want a nice flow between. Backward. Now I want to go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 again, but I want to do it when I'm coming down from here. Because it sounds cool, especially when we add the string above. Okay, so okay. Okay, so if you work on that, getting it fast up to that speed, you'll have no problem doing much of anything. Okay, slower. Okay. Here's a cool little song. See, they're all old. I don't know anything about old songs. But if we're going to do the same thing, it's kind of like Smoke on the Water with the... Okay, I want you to go, let's see. I want you to go... See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so we're starting the same place. 1, 2, then the 1 and the 3. When I say 1 and the 3, that means 1st fret and 3rd fret. So 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1. Okay, see how it is? Okay, that's how this song goes. Kind of a cool song. So if we play it, but with the strings above it added, okay, so that's how it would go fast. Slow. Okay, if you're the one finger wonder. But we're always playing two strings 100% of the time. And again, I like to pick up. Okay, starting on the note like this one when I have two together. If you're playing just one note at a time, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you do. But when you're doing this, it's nice to hear that first note because it just makes it more recognizable, because the other one is not the note that people recognize or that you recognize. If you're going, you still want to keep those notes when you're going. Okay, if that's the first note you play when you're strumming up, you'll hear that note louder than the one that's up above it. But if you're playing downward, it'll sound weird. Especially that one. We need that with just a little bit of that big string in here. Because it's so big, it's louder than all the others. So here's what I'm doing here for those who need it. Okay, so just the two notes there, two strings. Okay, let's get on to a couple more things and then we'll call it a day on this one. All the stuff that I taught you is not for nothing with all the okay, then okay, those are all notes that you can use on pretty much any song that you've ever heard. Okay, are those notes. There's nothing you can't play that those notes aren't involved in. Okay, we can play it all over the guitar, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Okay, but it's always going to look exactly like we just did. It's always going to be 3 frets, then 3 frets under it, and then move it up. Okay, so that one begins where the last one left off, and then the last 3 notes just by dropping down one string. But then you just double them up. So again, I'm just going to make something up. I have no idea what I'm going to play now. Okay, and I'm looking around for something to play, but I'm always just going to double up, and I'm going to show you what's going on. A lot of the times I like to play without the middle finger at all. Okay, I just go. Okay, so all of that was phrasing, just going to act like I'm singing, but act like I'm singing on the guitar going. You know, so phrasing, that's what that's called, so it's not so robotic. Okay, and again, there, I never used my middle finger. I just played here and here, skipped it, here, here, skipped it, changed, here, skipped the middle one, here, skipped the middle one, that whole time. So I only played on these frets. These frets again, just dropped down, moved up here, those frets, moved down one string, and those. That's what all that was. Okay, and the ones in between, the notes that are in between, we can't have that Smoke on the Water, the first song, without those. See, so those will happen. Here's an example that I'm just going to make up that has a lot of those in there. Just the other notes. And then the other thing that we did before, here's how it sounds. See. So you can see we're using the ones in between. Okay, so anything you can think of that sounds like a song, that's the way you can get it to sound more powerful. Is these power chords. Okay, a lot of the pros use that sound. Again, they just have big walls full of speakers, and again, turn it up to 11. If your speakers and your amplifier, they don't go to 11, you need to get something else. 11 is always the magic number. If you have an electric guitar and everything, paint a number 11 on your knob where it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then there's a space there. Put you a little ink pen or paint number 11 on it. You want to go one louder all the time. Okay, so to go someplace else, just for fun, the dots are a really good place to follow. So say you just want to, you're tired of playing this same place. Just go up and find something that you like. See, I'm way up here on 7, 6, 5. Okay, and you could play the same thing, but you can do it this way. Okay, see, it's the same thing, and the pattern's going to be the same. You're going to be drop it, up, drop it. That's the whole thing. Again, when I come backward, I love to kind of sneak behind it like that. And then, okay, so it sounds cool like that. Okay, so where are we? See here. It doesn't have to be played here. You can play it anywhere, but just keep remembering to do the exact same thing with the drop it, move it, drop it, and then flatten it and play the note above it. That's all those stuff. See if you can follow along. So no matter where you go, again, if you go in between the dots, like here and there, same thing. You just go 1, okay? And drop it. Move it. And drop it. Now we can play them. leave that one right alone. But that's the secret to getting some of that more powerful sound out of a guitar that's even this size. That's why I wanted to use this size of guitar for this particular lesson. So I hope you like that, and we'll do some more on here. Just had a request to do these, so we'll do them. Okay, so again, just practice one finger at a time if you can. Run backwards. Until you get really good at moving it around. Then it becomes real easy because you've already been doing it with one finger. Now you just kind of lay it around. Okay, so isn't that groovy? Okay, you get to see my ugly face. Oh, man, that light is bright. I can do this. Oh, how you doing, guys? This is my sun hat. I'll wear it like this. So anyway, is that right? Yeah, that looks good. It's like the sun thing in my car. Okay, sun's too bright. Anyway, you guys have fun. I'll come back and give you some more help, kind of like this, for those of you who ask for it again. If you don't want it, hey, have fun all by yourself. You guys stay groovy, all right? Hasta la pasta.